morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here today. As Mrs. Cummings said, I'm Brian Butterfield with Microtech Computer Services. We've been working with the Archdiocese for over 20 years with individual schools and sometimes at the Pastoral Center. And fun fact, I even helped set up the original computer lab at St. Anthony in Fort Lauderdale, I think back in 1999, back when Elaine Patterson was principal. So I'm kind of dating myself a little bit, but we've had a wonderful relationship with the Archdiocese, and I'm really happy to be here today. And I know today is supposed to be about spirituality, and it is, but I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about technology, and in particular, cybersecurity. So I'm going to start off with just a couple quick questions to ask you. And the first one is this. Just by a show of hands, how many people in here have ever received a phishing email? Show of hands. Okay, everyone just look around real quick. Keep your hands up. Pretty much everybody in this room has received a phishing email. So the second question is a little bit more difficult. And the second question is this. How many of you, again, by a show of hands, know someone that's been a victim of a ransomware attack? Okay, so several people in here. So I'm going to tell you a couple sobering statistics about that. And the first statistic is this. 90% of ransomware attacks start with a phishing email. And the second statistic that I think is even more important for us here today is that the number one sector that's targeted by these phishing campaigns is education. So this involves everybody here today. It's very important. And I'd like to tell you a quick story, if I may. Our security team was called into a school after they got hit with a ransomware attack. And it was really bad. They hit every server was encrypted, every workstation was encrypted, every laptop was encrypted. And the school district decided that they weren't going to pay the ransom. And the reason they decided that is because the school did have a backup. It wasn't the best backup. It was probably about a week old. So they would have lost a week's worth of data, but the school district said, you know what, better that than paying the ransom. So they told the hackers, we're not going to pay. Little did they know that the hackers, before they encrypted all the data, they downloaded a copy of that data. So they had a wealth of information about the school, about the faculty, and about the students. And the bad guys, being really bad guys, sent an email out to the parents of every single student in that school, saying, hey, guess what? We hacked your server, and we have your kids' private information. And if you don't pay the ransom, we're going to post that information on the web. Now, I don't tell you this story to scare you because it's not all doom and gloom. There are absolutely things that you can do to protect your school from ransomware attacks. And if you have a cybersecurity program in place, which you should, there should be multiple layers of protection. And one of those layers that's really important is to make sure your passwords and your email addresses are not exposed on the dark web. And we do that by using something called, oddly enough, a dark web scan. So everyone should have a card with a QR code on it. If you scan that QR code, you'll be directed to a secure site on our website where you can fill out a couple bits of information, and we'll run a dark web scan not only on your email address, but every single email address at the school, at your school. And we will provide you with a confidential report of our findings so we can take a look at it and see if we need to take any measures to make you more secure. So I know we're up against a break. I don't want to take any more of your time. We're going to be at the table. If you have any questions about cybersecurity or about dark web scans or about IT in general, please stop by and talk to us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.